Hi, it's me, Jazzy. I'm back with another tech-related video, and today I'm taking a look at a digital microscope. This is a new product from Tomlov. Now, Tomlov, as we know, have a really good range of digital microscopes, and you can see those on their website. Now, this is a new product from Tomlov. This is the TM4K-AF Flex. So full disclosure, Tomlov have sent this product over to me at no cost to myself, so I can do a full review on it. Now, I will give this microscope a fair and honest review, and I'll also be living with it. So you will see it on some of my future projects upcoming, and we will see how it fares in the longer term. So let's dig in and see what we get in the box. It's not just a digital microscope, it's a digital microscope that's 4K with an 8-inch IPS screen and autofocus, and it's capable of putting the output on 3 screens at once. It comes with a flexible stand and adjustable lighting. So I'm really keen to get into this microscope because it sounds just what I'm looking for. So let's have a look what you get inside the box. A digital microscope is a very handy thing to have indeed. And my one bugbear with previous ones that I've looked at was not being able to see what I'm viewing on the screen in front of me, as well as recording it on my PC. This one should cover both. And it's very nicely packed and presented inside the box. So we've got an instruction manual, which seems pretty comprehensive. It's quite a thick instruction manual. That's always good to see. And this is what I like to see from an instruction manual. It's all in color and gives you full detail on how to set the microscope up and how to use it. So what have we got in here? This is the microscope itself, which has an 8-inch IPS panel. So we've got some functions down here we'll take a look at in a moment, and you've got some really good I/O on the back. So you've got USB-A, USB-C, a micro SD card reader, and you've got a HDMI port as well, which is important. So you can put the output from your microscope via the USB to your PC, so you can record the output, but you can also have it going via HDMI to a bigger screen as well. It comes with everything you need to hook it up. So you've got a HDMI cable, got a USB cable there, and you've even got a rather nice little remote control there. That's pretty handy. I like that, very cute. We'll take a look at that in a moment. And we've got a little cleaning cloth in there so you can keep it all nice and clean. Now, when you take the top layer off, you've got another layer underneath, which is the flexible stand. So here's the arm itself, all very nicely packed. Wow, that's pretty substantial. Pretty solid, got to say. So you've got the pole there to mount the stand on, and this is the clamp. Now, what I will say about this immediately is that everything seems really heavy duty about it. So again, it's all metal construction, no creaky plastic or anything. We'll see though how easy it is to put together. Is it an easy assembly on this or not? We're going to find out. But I do like the quality of the parts that I'm seeing so far. Right, and we've got another light here. So it does look like there's some LEDs on the bottom of the microscope, but you've also got an additional light as well. This has got an intensity adjustment from 10% to 100%. Okay, another part of the stand here. Again, it's all metal. Oh, wow, and that actually runs really nicely. Right, and we're still not done yet. Once you get that layer out, you've also got a soldering mat in the bottom there. Look at that, I could do with a new one. So the main thing about this particular microscope is autofocus. It uses AI algorithms and a TOF sensor for 2-second fast autofocus. So that minimizes the need for manual adjustments. The microscope has an upgraded flex arm stand, which I can't wait to put together. It looks really cool. The thing I love about this, apart from it being 4K and autofocus, which is already amazing, is the fact that you can run 3 screens at the same time. So you've got the built-in screen in front of you, connect via USB to your PC so you can watch and record your images, and also via HDMI. So you could have a massive screen in your workshop. I could see that coming in really handy. Right, enough talk. Let's get this microscope together and see what it can do. Let's see how easy this is to put together. Thankfully, I've got the manual here, and it's very helpful. It gives you a packing list so you know everything that you should have in your box. So it shows you in great detail here how to assemble the stand. It looks fairly self-explanatory, so let's go ahead and put this together using the manual as a guide. This cover sits on top of the C-clamp. The pole sits on here, so it's a little hole to locate that. I'm really intrigued by the fact that this microscope is autofocus. Okay, so that's done. I'm going to attach it on to here. Tightening up the clamp. That's great. Look at that. That's going nowhere. That's a decent clamp. This is the monitor arm here. I'm going to put that quite low down initially so you can see it. There we go. That's pretty beefy, isn't it? Okay. Screw it down. What I will say is everything does fit like it should. Here we have our microscope monitor. So that just sits back on, so that keeps your cables out of the way. That's pretty handy. Now they've also included a ring light as well, which is pretty cool. Unscrew the 3 little screws. This one comes with a standard mains plug, which is fine because we can route the cable up with the other cables there. Now I've got to get this on just right. About time we take the peel off of this. Okay, I think we're ready to power on. Here we go. Okay, so in terms of lighting on this microscope, we've got some built-in LEDs on the bottom of the microscope here that you control with this little touch bar. How cool is that? I like that. That's a nice little feature, that is. Now, as well as that, you've also got this ring light here, which you fix on the bottom. This one is powered off of the mains, and it gives you amazing illumination. Look at that. That's awesome. And if I turn on my bench lights that I use for filming, you can see it illuminates obviously the bench area much more effectively. But this light is actually, if you didn't have this big powerful light above, this is more than enough to see what you're doing on this board. I'm impressed with this. My only tiny critique, if I was a little bit nitpicky, it was a little bit fiddly to get this fitted on. But I will say, once you get this on here, it's really not going anywhere. The whole arm and everything about it is really solid. It feels really solid. It's really well on there. And look how well the autofocus copes with being shaken about. The autofocus on this is one of the biggest standout features for me. I've not used another digital microscope that has autofocus. Now this is very cool because you're moving your board around, you're going closer, it focuses within 2 seconds. Put your board back down, bang, straight in focus. Look at that. That's amazing. Now that for me is going to be quite a time saver and frustration saver, I've got to say. Some microscopes will have like a thumb wheel on the front to adjust the focus, and as you're adjusting it, you're shaking the microscope about all over the place, and it's not easy to get it in focus. Well, this does it for you. Like for me, I'm sold on just that. That's amazing. Look how quickly that focuses. Now, you've also got a manual focus. So you've got a control on here that says AF. So if I long press on that, it changes it to manual focus at the top. Long press again, changes it back to autofocus. You've also got 2 presets on here, which is pretty handy, P1 and P2. So you can actually save a preset focal length. So for instance, if you wanted to focus, say, on something further off of the board, like these capacitors, there you go. You might be wanting to check them to see if they're cracked or damaged or bulged out or whatever. So you can focus on those and you can actually save that. So long press on P1, saw it go green there, that saves it as P1. Okay, so if I focus back in on the board there at that height, for instance, I come along there. These are ever so slightly out of focus. Press P1, brings them straight back in sharp. Look at that. That's really very cool. I like that a lot. So if you've got a mixture of surface mount and larger components on your board, you might want to save a couple of presets there on specific distances away from the board. Now what I will say is my camera does not do this justice. This screen is fantastic. I mean, this is capturing in 4K, 52 megapixels, and the display looks really crisp and clean. You can't really see that from my camera, but you can see it from the footage that I've captured here from the microscope. As I say, I'm really impressed with the arm. The cable management is good. It's really handy that you can run the cables up inside the arm. I like that. Now the other really cool gadget, I love this remote control. So cute, and I love a cute little gadget. This is really handy because you can actually capture images and videos straight onto the microscope. It's got an SD card slot, and it actually comes with a 64 gig SD card pre-installed. Very handy. That means if I want to take a screenshot of the board, I just press the camera button and it will take a shot. It says capturing, it's done. You can also do video recording from the remote as well. You see it started up there. That's now recording. The other great thing with the remote is you can zoom in. Look at that, you can get right on in there. So if you've got some surface mount resistors, for example, and they're super tiny and you can't see the values on them, you can just zoom right in, and there you go. The autofocus keeps it nicely in focus. You can see the value of that component. So I'm recording at the moment, so if I press that again, stops recording. So you've got two ways of recording with this. You can record like I've done here onto the built-in SD card. It'll tell me on there it's on UVC. So what that means is you'll see the video live on your PC, and there's no lag, there's no latency issues. What you see on here is exactly what you see on the PC screen. And you can use your Windows camera app or similar to record the footage directly onto your PC or take still images like some of the ones I've shown here. Now the other way you can use it, it's saying here press OK to switch to MSDC, which is like a mass storage mode. So you press OK and it switches to mass storage mode. Now that will open up on your PC as a drive. On mine it's opened as drive G. You can see you've got two folders here. So you've got a folder for images and you've got a folder for videos. So if I go into images, you can see all the images that I've captured there. And also you can see the size of the images captured, 9600 by 5400. So these are decent size images, 14.2 megabyte JPEG file. If I come out of there and go into video, you will see the video footage that's been captured. So if I click on that, you can run that and you can see how well you could see. For instance, you could check for dry joints on this because you can see right in on the solder joints. Nice, real clear image. It's really clear. Look at that. You can see every detail of the board, and you can see the autofocus pulling it back in every time you move the board around, so you haven't got to keep refocusing it. Love that. So what this does do, it solves the problem that I had before of not being able to see the image on the screen of the microscope while I'm recording on my PC. So now I can do both simultaneously. And even better than that, this has also got a HDMI output. So you can hook it up and have three screens running simultaneously. Now I really love this. I'm really keen to put up a big screen somewhere in here if I've got some room. And you can see the image in superb quality on the microscope, on the PC, and on the TV screen at the same time. As you can see here, I've set up a 42-inch flat screen TV, and you can see as I move this board around, there's no lag, there's no latency problems. It's in real time, and you can move it around and see the image. I mean, how fantastic does this look on the big screen? Again, my camera is just not doing it justice. It's got a lot going for it, this microscope. Another great feature I love, long press on the OK button gives you a split screen, so you can see this area zoomed in here and you can see the wider picture at the same time as well, and you can still zoom in. So you could zoom right in on something. So you're looking at a component thinking, okay, let's have a closer look at that. You can zoom right in on that. So you can see the part number on it, for example, and you can also see the wider view at the same time. Now you've also got a quite comprehensive menu, so you can press menu on the remote or you can press menu on the front of your screen there. So you've got playback on here. So if you go into playback, you can see all the images. So if you want to have a look at the images that you've captured, you can just scroll through with the left and right buttons, and you can just scroll through all the images that you've captured recently. If you just want to have a look for something that you've recorded, maybe you've gone, what was that capacitor again? And you can scroll back through and go, yes, 47 microfarads. It could be quite handy, that. I quite like that. So let's explore the menu a little bit more. What else have we got on here? So you've got various options that you can play around with. I won't go into too much detail on this, but there's loads of options that you can change on here. So you can change the LCD brightness, you can set a timer for auto off to save battery, you can change the language, the date, the time. I won't go into detail of all the menu functions, or I will be here all day. It's so comprehensive. But what I will say is in the instruction manual, it gives you a complete run through of all the functions that you can access through the menus. And there is a lot. I've had a good read through the book. It's a good idea to have a good read through to familiarize yourself, because there's so many options in the menu that you can alter to do with the brightness, the gain, the auto exposure, the white balance. It's a really good instruction book. I love to see instruction books like this. You've got great color images so you can see exactly what you should be looking at. Right, so another great use for this I can see, because the resolution is so good, for repairing motherboards. Sometimes you might need to make a repair to a CPU socket, maybe like this particular one. This is motherboard from my parts bin. You can see there's some damaged pins there. So you could actually zoom right in on that and go, yeah, I can see where the damage is. That pin there is damaged, and you could effect a repair and potentially save that motherboard. So I've been using the Tomlov TM4K-AF Flex for just over a week now. I've been using it on my bench. Gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with this. So you get a really clear image. I'm loving the fact that you can use it on your PC and you can still get the image on the screen of the microscope at the same time. That's always been a bugbear of mine with previous microscopes. There's a load of features in there that I'm really loving. The autofocus for me is fantastic. I'm absolutely loving that, not having to fiddle about with fiddly little thumb wheels and things to adjust the focus. It sorts it out for me, and you've got those presets as well, which are quite handy. Picture quality is amazing. I love how high res the captures are that you get. Another added bonus is the amount of accessories you get in the box. It comes with everything you need to set it up, including the stand, the SD card. There's a 64 gig SD card included, which was pre-installed. That's a winner for me straight away. And this lovely silicone soldering mat. I'm very much in need of a new one to replace my slightly tired looking one. So this will be going on my bench. And of course you get the included fast charger as well. That comes in the box with it. So you literally get everything you need to set up. The still images and the videos are really excellent quality. It's got some other great features as well. I love the fact you can zoom in and out from the remote control, and doing the capture and the video from the remote. That's very handy as well. And for me, the biggie is being able to run more than one screen at the same time. So having the live image on the microscope and on your PC is great. HDMI is an additional bonus, and I'm very tempted to put one of my big screens up somewhere if I can find a bit of room somewhere in my workshop slash studio area. Now, there's a lot to like with this microscope, but I did say I'd give it a really fair and honest review. If I wanted to be really nitpicky, I would say the ring light was a little bit fiddly to get mounted. Now, it does give you a photo in the instruction manual of how to assemble it. Maybe that's just me, but I tell you what, once the ring light is on, it doesn't budge, it stays put. My only other comment on it really is that when the microscope's in USB mode, you can't use the remote control to zoom in and out. Now, it does tell you that in the instruction manual, and whether that's something that could be updated maybe with a firmware update or something in the future, I don't know. But literally, I'd say this is an absolutely amazing digital microscope. I'm really pleased with it. The image quality, the autofocus, running multiple screens, it's a no-brainer for me. On the Amazon site, it's on at $299 at the moment. Tomlov have very generously given me a discount code if you'd like to buy one. It's linked in the video description down below, so have a look at that. The code is valid from a month from when this video goes out. Now, I'm sure you'll see this Tomlov microscope in a lot of my future videos because I'm super happy with the quality and the way it works. And as I always say, anything that makes life easier when you're doing your electronics projects, why not? So massive thanks to our friends at Tomlov for sending over this 4K digital microscope. I think it's a really awesome bit of kit. Many thanks to everyone for watching, sharing, liking, commenting and subscribing. It's always massively appreciated, and I always love reading through all your comments. I'll be back soon with some more tech related videos, so in the meantime, take care and I'll see you on the next one.